From Channelside Drive, where Lord Stanley Cup rests.
Time ticks down! The Lightning win the Stanley Cup!
Travel across the bridge to St. Pete to find our American League champs.
And the Tampa Bay Rays have just won the American League pennant.
And get ready to fire the cannons.
Lob pass toward the end zone. Gronkowski, he makes the catch. Touchdown Tampa Bay. What a great grab by Gronk.
Because it's time for another episode of Play the Bay. Play the Bay.
Good evening, everybody, or late afternoon. Welcome to the day we've all been waiting for.
Woo!
The big game, Super Bowl Sunday. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but this is the Play the Bay podcast with our special guest host from Sports Caffeine, Kristen and Taylor. We are brought to you by the Believe Podcast Network and our special sponsor today, Three Daughters Brewing Company.
Love the beer.
I haven't tried it yet. I thought you guys were going to bring me one, but I saw the awesome swag that they gave us today to give away. A lot of t-shirts, koozies, hats. So come on down to Raffurty'S Bar and Grill if you are in Sarasota. We are at 1888 Main Street, and we are here to give you all of our Super Bowl talk. But before that, guys, what a year we had in the NFL.
Football was unbelievable. Even though we thought COVID was going to kind of ruin things, the season got through it all. We made it to the finish line, and here we are.
Somehow, some way. I mean, obviously, my Cowboys didn't make it to the finish line or even close. They were done about week 3. So your Falcons as well.
Yeah, they didn't do much better. So
we will go with our surprises and our things this season. But starting off with COVID real quick, how do you guys feel? Did COVID really affect the season as much as you thought? Some games were pushed back. Bills really got screwed sometimes with the moving around of the games. But do you really think it affected the season overall that much and what teams are playing today?
I don't know if it affected that much. I know the Steelers obviously came out of the gates great, and they ended up playing several games in a row due to COVID, and they kind of got a little bit tired, it seemed like, and they had some real issues as a team. But no, I think the NFL did a good job in the situation we had.
Yeah, I think it's fitting. After 2020, that the Bucs are playing and working from home, as you would say, because that's all we've been doing. So it's fitting that they're playing in this game today. It's a great, gorgeous day out. It's going to be a gorgeous night. It's going to be a great evening for football.
Yeah, we were a little worried about rain in Tampa today, but that has passed. That was in the morning. I think my biggest thing was the COVID affected was the preseason, and these guys not being able to train and work out. We saw the nasty injuries, including to your Dak Prescott, who I think your season would have been very different if Prescott doesn't get injured, Saquon, McCaffrey.
Yeah.
For fantasy football players, we all know this was I think COVID affected fantasy with the preseason stuff more than it did.
Yeah, you definitely saw the injury side, and then you also saw a lot of teams that weren't getting into rhythms to start out. You saw a lot of sloppy play those first 3-4 weeks of the season. So a lot of teams that were one way that first quarter of the season ended up not being the way. The Steelers obviously were one of those teams that we were talking about, towards the end, not staying up.
There we go.
We got a fan out here. We got a lot of Bucs fans here today. Maybe we are in Tampa. But, COVID also, with the Browns coach, Kevin Stefanski, could not coach that first playoff game. And actually, I almost feel like benefited the Browns with him not being there because we ended up winning. So, should I say NFL Coach of the Year, Kevin Stefanski?
There you go.
Wow. Did he win it?
He did win it last night. We did have the NFL awards last night, so some of the things we already knew. Aaron Rodgers did win the MVP. Derrick Henry, Offensive Player of the Year. Aaron Donald, Defensive Player of the Year. But I want to talk to you guys about your breakout players this year, guys that you either rookies or guys that have been in the league a while that really came up and shined. Chip, who was your breakout player of the year?
I think my breakout player of the year was Josh Allen. I think that having it was transformative what he did, completing passes, his rating, his percentage. He really went from one of the worst to in the top 5, I think. With completion percentages. So, definitely the Bills team as a whole. But Josh Allen, wow, unbelievable season.
And I know, real quick, he did win the Fantasy Player of the Year, which I did not know.
I had him. So
I did not know that was an award at the NFL Honors, but I think it's cool that it's an award.
Yeah, I was definitely going to go Josh Allen as well. I mean, we've been harping on him throughout the whole season, especially that first quarter of the season, like we were talking about, the first 4 to 6 games. He was in that MVP conversation. And he unfortunately had a couple, sub 200-yard games thrown in there. But without those, it was him, Russell Wilson, Patty Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers throughout the whole season as the best quarterbacks in the league by far.
I mean, I'm going to go with a rookie, and it's not going to be Justin Herbert. I'm going to go with Justin Jefferson. When I was studying fantasy at the beginning of the season, you know, he was really highly touted, but I didn't expect him to have on a dismal Vikings team that was actually a disappointment. He had a really, really, I mean, he was a rookie, but a real big breakout year, setting all kind of records, and we weren't really sure we were going to get all the rookie wide receivers. Most of the rookie wide receivers actually had a pretty stellar year this year.
Yeah, that was one of the things that's been talked about throughout the year with Justin Jefferson, as we saw him progressively get better and better and find that get on the same page with Kirk Cousins, is that they're saying next year he could be the best wide receiver in this league. So
yeah, it'd be interesting to see. But yeah, this year, COVID, like we said, I think preseason and everything really didn't give the rookies, but like we just said, the wide receivers, the younger guys, they stepped up and played huge. So that was good to see young talent move fast, at least with wide receivers.
CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah. I mean, Henry Ruggs had a good year. A lot of these receivers came in and had a pretty good year. Evan, I think you want to chime in on something.
We've got some official news. Antonio Brown and Cameron Braid are officially active for the game today, as well as Levante David as well.
There you go. So full staff. We have everybody on the roster. No one's out. Everybody's playing. Whitehead, torn labrum, I think, is what he is playing.
Questionable as of right now. Questionable.
Really? Okay.
So is Antoine Whitfield Jr. as well, too.
Now, all the Chiefs players that were in that haircutting line with the COVID barber, have they all been cleared to play?
They all have been cleared to play.
Yes.
All right. That was another COVID thing. Now, we talked about our breakout guys. Who's your biggest disappointment? The guy you thought was really going to have a good year and just sucked. And I know what you're going to say. Alrighty. I think I put part of his last name in.
Who do you think I was going to say?
Oh, Wenzel sucks a lot.
Definitely, I was going to go Carson Wentz. You read my mind. I knew he was going to have a horrible year because I know how not good he is, and unfortunately, I don't know what a team he wants to get out of town right now. I don't know what team is trying to pay him all that money that thinks he's worth all that. But
we've got two suitors right now. We've got the Indianapolis Colts and also the Chicago Bears.
Wow, yeah, I heard that. The Foles for him. Trade back. But he was the biggest disappointment, obviously, because of the contract. It felt like he was coming back from an injury and he was going to light the Eagles on fire, you know, the one division the year before. So they're going to come out and be they were a Super Bowl preseason
favorite. Yeah.
And obviously that did not come to fruition. So Carson Wentz will suck a lot, making his way out of Philadelphia.
I'm going to stick in Pittsburgh. I mean, I think they had a great team. They went, I think it was either 10 or 11-0. And then had that just terrible collapse as a team. But, yeah, I couldn't believe that a team led with Big Ben, and they have a lot of talent, and now they have a lot of free agents they're going to have to deal with. So collapse as a whole for them. I just didn't think they were going to fall apart the way they did.
Yeah, it's going to be a real interesting offseason with the cap coming down, and a lot of these veterans are going to get cut. So it's going to be an a lot of changing pieces and a lot of different teams.
That's what I'm kind of going along with your lines of a whole team. I'm going to, I know he was hurt. Jimmy Garoppolo is hurt every year. We're all highly touted. But San Francisco 49ers were in the Super Bowl last year, did not even make the playoffs. I know they were riddled with injuries, but they did, kind of figure it out a little bit, next man up. But I think as a whole, I was just disappointed with, Kyle Shanahan's supposed to be this offensive genius guy, and the 49ers.
They just had too many injuries. It's kind of like my Cowboys are
too much to overcome. I think
our whole offensive line was hurt all season. They had no receivers. They were kind of like the Broncos were that one game with no quarterback. We had a game with no quarterback. We had a game like that this year.
We saw some first, definitely with COVID and having to go through all that. But it was a good season. I'm glad we were able to complete it and get to where we are now. Thank God.
What was your biggest surprise moment or team or, not just player-wise of someone breaking out, but what is your biggest surprise?
I think team-wise, really, and I mean, sticking with the Bills and Josh Allen, I did not think I would have seen them go and get to where they got. I mean, I just didn't see them doing that. Coming off a season where they went after and got Diggs and got a number one wide receiver for Josh Allen, I just didn't see him as the team that's going to compete with Kansas City now for several years if they go out and draft well and make some good free agent signings. So, yeah, just the Bills as a whole.
Mine was definitely the Dolphins.
Dolphins, that's another good one.
Brian Flores totally changed the culture in that team. They've been abysmal forever. I don't think Tua is the guy. Obviously, throughout, if you've been listening to the show, I don't think he's a franchise quarterback at all. But so I still think they need to find that piece. But everything else around there, they got the corners, they got the depth on the defensive side, they got the mentality obviously going into it. They're still going to have some high draft picks. They get the Texans pick once again, so they're going to be able to have those pieces to build around. I think they're going to give Tua that shot next year to see if he is the guy, which they're going to find out he's not. So they're going to have to find another piece there. But I think the Dolphins are going to be up and coming and fighting for that, fighting with the Bills towards the top there.
Yeah, I think everyone expected the Bills to win the division, but not expected them to go to the AFC title game.
Yeah.
I am going to go with the Washington football team. I mean, beginning of the season, they didn't have an identity. They didn't even have a team name. Literally, they're finishing the season with Alex Smith, who almost died, was never even supposed to walk again with 17 leg surgeries as a starting quarterback. He was the NFL comeback player of the year. Yeah. And I mean, you got Chase Young as the offensive defensive player of the year, or a rookie defensive player of the year. And that team really did pull together with that defense, and they really were. I thought they were going to be number one draft pick again. It was just going to be a dumpster fire, maybe a few bright spots. Obviously, we know Dwayne Haskins didn't work out so well. And now he's on the Steelers, and so someone had to play Mason Rudolph. But I'm gonna go with the Washington football team as a very, very good surprise this year.
There you go.
All right.
What other points do you guys have in our year in review? Anything? The touchdown celebration that won at the NFL Honors, which I also did not know was an award, was Chase Claypool's touchdown, where they lit the birthday cake and they all sang and then they blew it out, which I thought was really, really creative.
That's a good celebration.
Yeah, there were some really awesome celebrations. I'm glad they brought that back. I don't know if you guys can think of any off the top of your head you really loved.
I mean, the only other down point I saw was officiating. Once again, I don't like to talk about officials because I feel like you're going to get some bad calls, you're going to get some good calls, but unfortunately, there's a lot of times these calls, these late hits on quarterbacks that never happen, these pass interference that never happen, kind of determine the outcome of the game. You're 3rd and 10, your last drive of the game, you get a PI call. All right, now you get the drive, you get the momentum going, you score the game-winning touchdown. So there's a lot of chances. If you look back through every game throughout the season, there's a lot of people's livelihoods on the line because of the call.
Meaning like the Cleveland Browns who fumbled in the end zone after targeting that was not called, and then the ball goes back to the Kansas City Chiefs. Right? I didn't even know that was the rule. If you fumble in the end zone, it goes to the other team. But I mean, you get targeted. The guy got fined, I believe, but he didn't get. That was just some crap there. Speaking of officiating, though, we do have our first female official.
Yes.
In the Super Bowl today, and she's cute. I love her. She was
she was the first female official way back when.
So she's been the longest official.
She's been in there a while.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's very exciting to see that. Go women. A lot of women coaches this year.
A lot of coaches.
I think that's something new in the Browns tight end coach is a woman. I know the 49ers have a woman coach. So I always said women are smarter than men. So I don't know why we're not coaches, because we really can look at some film. A lot of women in sports radio, sports TV. Kay Adams, our girl, has been hitting it big lately.
That's true.
It's just been a great year for women in NFL too, I have to say.
Which is always a good thing. We enjoy that.
We got more fans here. I don't know. Well, they're
everybody
not really
filing it. Key West, 5 hours. Wow.
We got back from Key West for 5 hours to make it here.
Thank you. Go Bucks.
So let's. I think we did this in our last show, but real quick, let's do a review of our personal teams here, kind of end of year review, and what do you expect for next year coming from your team? Chip, I will start with your Atlanta Falcons, who was one team who was able to stop the Chiefs.
They were a little bit. We will. 4-12, so awful, re-gutted, coaching staff, management, GM, whole ball of wax. Should get a good draft pick. Should be, I don't know, I'm going to say 500 or one game over. I mean, it's going to take time when you got a new staff, new coaches, players. But yeah, that's what I think probably next year.
I saw that Natty Ice said that he would be upset if you guys drafted a quarterback.
Yeah, that could be the case, although when you have the opportunity to get a franchise quarterback, Matty Ice is very old, so you got to have somebody behind him. So we'll see what happens, but the draft will be exciting.
Yeah, well, is Julio Jones going to be in a Falcons jersey next year?
Yes, both Matty Ice and Julio Jones. The cap money they have invested in it was way too much to let either of those guys go this year.
All right. Well, yeah, Cowboys-wise, obviously we were disappointing. A lot of injuries, obviously. I think we're going to re-sign Dak eventually.
Yeah.
We're not going to franchise him again. Oh, there goes
they lost a Bucks balloon, so that's bad.
Lost a Bucks balloon.
No, that actually means they're going to win.
There you go.
Flying to the heavens.
Yeah.
Flying to the heavens. But we have the 10th pick. I was happy we didn't make the playoffs, though. We lost down the stretch there. So we got the 10th pick. I think we're going to go back end of our defensive back, or we may take like a Kyle Pitts or something around 10, some kind of playmaker there on the tight end side. But I want our defensive, our back end of our defense, our corners, our safeties. We've been needing a safety forever, but we've never drafted one for some odd reason. But I think we have a chance to win the division next year pretty easy. And that's about it.
What kind of contract do you think Dak's getting? You think he's earned that? Now you see.
Yeah, he's gonna get some Mahomes type money, and it's one of those contracts to where it looks big on the front end, but 5-6 years from now, it's gonna be middle of the pack. Yeah. And that's kind of how it is for quarterbacks.
Yeah, with the Browns, I am so excited for next year. I mean, it just seems the culture. Baker said when he came in, I'm going to change the culture of this team. Yeah. And he really did it. Him and Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett considered retiring after that fiasco in Pittsburgh last year with Mason Rudolph. So I'm glad he's back. It seems like they're very much gelling as a team. I was a little disappointed they didn't play Kareem Hunt earlier in that Chiefs game because when Nick Chubb dropped that second pass, I was like, put Hunt in. He's been playing with a vengeance, and I think that could have been a difference. So a few coaching things maybe, but for the most part, I give the Browns an AA+. Like, this is just awesome to see us make the playoffs and go beat the Steelers twice in a row, go into the final round. And now, Butch, when you're a Bucs fan, I mean, how much higher can you go from here?
Well, I don't need to do a year in review. We're like still playing, so we're playing in a game today. So I don't need to do a year in review.
But you were so down on them all year, and you were keeping the hopes below.
Expectations, yes, very low.
Where are they now?
I know you're not on camera. Please tell the people that what you are wearing today and where you got it from.
So I am wearing my Brady brand new pewter jersey right now. If you can't see it, I'm not even on camera, so you can't see it at all. So yeah.
And when did you order that?
I ordered it like a day ago and had it rush delivered to me.
How much was that shipping? More
Sonic Boom shipping? Is that what you got?
You don't want to know how much the shipping cost.
Does your wife know how much the shipping cost?
This was done by my own monies. We have separate accounts, so my own monies. Yes.
It does look nice on you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't need to do year in review. That can be done like next week or the week after.
Yes.
Yeah, my team's playing.
When the year's over.
Your teams aren't, so it's all good.
That's true. That is a factual statement.
So you think your team come into the division next year when you get everybody back and healthy? I think the Browns have a very good shot at winning the division. I mean, the Ravens kind of fell off a little bit, which is another disappointment for Lamar Jackson's MVP season, and then he just kind of fell off. And I think it was also, it just changes that team. J.K. Dobbins as well.
We've got bagpipes. What is going on here?
Coming in. All right, here we go.
So I got a question for you three. We've got some trade rumors coming up. The quarterback carousel, as they say. Matthew Stafford's now with the Rams. Jared Goff is now with the Lions. They flip-flop. Deshaun Watson sweepstake is still alive and well. We don't know what's going on with that situation. Carson Wentz, your boy Taylor. Wenzel sucks a lot. Couple of teams that could be in play for him would be the Colts and the Bears. Which team would be best fit for him if there was a team to make a trade for Carson Wentz?
I mean, obviously, either of those teams taking him, they would see it as an upgrade, obviously, because obviously the Colts don't have a quarterback, but they have Brissett, and that's about it on the roster right now. And then you have Trubisky and Foles with the Bears. So obviously they're going to see it as an upgrade. I don't think Wentz should be in the league personally. But when it comes to Watson, I think the Texans are going to have to trade him eventually. He's not going to play. He's going to hold out if they actually bring it down to it. I think they have the most leverage to be able to get some draft picks for this year because they need picks this year since Bill O'Brien gave them all up. So I think they should trade him right now because he's going to sit out. He's going to hold out. And all he's going to do, even if it comes to training camp, he's going to bring negative energy into the locker room. And when it comes to new guys coming into a new team that they're trying to rebuild, you don't want that negative energy. So I think they should get rid of him right now because he's not going to do.
Saying trade the number 1 overall pick for Deshaun Watson, and I could see Urban Meyer doing something like that. He's only 25. He has proven. We don't know what Trevor Lawrence is doing. He got lit up by Ohio State. Yeah, he just got lit up by Ohio State too. So I really think that I could see Urban Meyer doing something like that. My friend Jeff here with his Chiefs stuff has been agreeing with me on this. Trade the number 1 overall pick for Deshaun Watson.
Wow.
I mean, he's a number 1 overall quarterback.
He's strutting in like they're already back-to-back champs. Look at that.
Did anybody watch? Let me finish your story.
Oh, no, I was going to say Colts is probably the best destination for any team, obviously, that's getting a quarterback. They have one of the best offensive lines in football. They have a great running back.
Stanzo retired.
Okay, and they still have a really good line. So I think they'll be able – that would be the best destination, I think, for any quarterback that's going to a team.
Well, I see Carson Wentz probably going to Houston because they make terrible decisions in Houston. That's all they do is one terrible decision after another. So let's bring in Carson Wentz. Now, if they do trade Wentz to the Bears, were they talking about getting rid of Foles or talking about getting rid of Trubisky do we know?
I heard Foles, but I don't.
So Foles back to the Eagles. I think Trubisky would actually maybe thrive in Philly. I think Trubisky actually would be the better trade for. I mean, I know they love Foles and he's a god.
I mean, it's gonna have to be a Stafford Goff like trade because of the money. So they're gonna have to do a lot of picks and throw a lot of things in if they get rid of Wentz, and so they're gonna have to craft it up. Something in those regards, they're gonna have to throw in a big money player with them in return. So they're gonna have to craft it. So they may have to do the Trubisky because of the money, because he gets paid more than Foles.
And I also want to ask you guys about that Stafford and Goff trade, because I mean, I would know Anthony Lynn is the offensive coordinator in Detroit, who had great success with Justin Herbert, another young quarterback. Do you see Goff flourishing in Detroit more than Stafford does in LA? Can you see that actually happening, where the Lions got the better end of this deal?
I don't really know as of yet. I think it's going to take some time to acclimate. I think he could. They throw the ball a lot, and they have some weapons around him, but it'll take some time, I think, to see. But
I mean, Kenny Golladay was out a lot of this year.
Yeah.
So you had Marvin Jones Jr. had a great year. Now you have DeAndre Swift in that backfield. I think Goff might actually have some success there.
I mean, everyone's talking about the Rams getting the better end of the deal, just having McVay and Stafford together as that 1-2 punch. He fits their offense so perfectly, and what he's trying to do, that kind of West Coast Shanahan type scheme. And their owners going for it, just like they did a couple of years ago. They got all those free agents like Sue and all those guys. So the owner wants to win a Super Bowl, and so he's investing and he wants it now. They know Goff's not the guy. They found that out pretty fast. So Stafford's the next man up. And
you know what, though, I don't like that that McVay and Goff had this love affair and this bromance those first couple of years when they were in the Super Bowl, and he's a quarterback whisperer. And then as soon as Goff has a disappointing season, which
all right, go Bucks,
go Bucks,
but still made
go
it
Bucks.
to the playoffs, and they also had to get rid of that monstrous contract as well between the two. So it'll be definitely interesting. I think that's obviously the number one trade of the offseason, so it's going to be interesting to see how that goes.
Very much so.
I just want to real quickly before we start going over the big game that we're here to talk about. Did anyone watch Saturday Night Live last night?
No.
It was hilarious. They did a CBS Sports NFL Today or whatever with Brian what's his name? James Brown.
Yes.
And, oh my God, it was so great. And they had a girl actress playing both Andy Reid and Bruce Arians. She was just changing her hat back and forth. And it was actually really, really funny. So I suggest if you have it on DVR or Hulu or something,
go check it out.
Okay, check out Saturday Night Live last night. So we are going to take a break, and we are going to come back, and we are going to dive into the game. And we are going to I have to do something I never wanted to do.
Oh boy.
Oh man, as the pick-on winner of last year, we have a new belt holder this year, and we will reveal that when we come back. The passing of the belt ceremony.
Yeah! Tampa makes some noise! The
Buccaneers fans, we've got some swag over here. If you want to come over for some beer koozies, we've got some free Daughters merch as well. We are Play the Bay Podcast. Come on over. We've got some swag for you. I've got a Buccaneers hat for you. There you are, sir.
Mike Evans body. Throw it long, we chase it down. And that Scotty Miller be pulling it down. AB and Cameron break. We blow cannons to celebrate. You don't want no part of Levante. Winfield never miss one play. Big Sue be hitting them off. JPP sack and be picking them off. Bruce got fight in him. Get live before 5. Big Devin White hit him. Fournette keep breaking away. Let's bring Lombardi to Tampa Bay. You a Buccaneers fan? Let me know. Let me know. We want to win this thing. Let's go. Buccaneers win this thing. Let them know. Let me know. We want to win this thing. Let's go. Handled Washington, right? New Orleans still ain't walking, right? Got bad for Rodgers when Murphy Bunting robbed ya. Ghosty ain't scared. In fact, the Big Shaq Bear coming through there. Ronald Jones keep running and Vita said so bad he gon' murk some. Donovan and Tristan, Ali Marpet ain't got Jensen. Tyler Johnson got them hands, and Whitehead just laid out your man. Seize the day, raise the flags, fire the cannons, watch the swag. Yeah, Tom Brady is in it for one thing. He want that savage ring. Let's go. You a Buccaneers fan? Let me know. Let me know.
Kristen, back to the stage, please, Kristen. This is only a 2-minute song. Only a 2-minute song.
Let's go. Tampa Bay. Let's go. Tampa Bay. Let's go. Tampa Bay. Let's go. Yeah.
Oh, and we are back. Sorry, I was distracted by all the fans coming here to Rafferty's to watch the game. So, as we all know, I was the champion of the Pick'ems last year, the first female champion of the Pick'ems, and I had a lot of fun with this belt, pretending I was John Cena for about 12 months. But we have a new Pick'em winner, and
Me?
no, not you.
Oh.
It's not you either, Evan.
That's a first.
Not Kaylee either.
No,
That
I came in
only
second. I think.
one. Introducing your Sports Caffeine Play the Bay Pick'em winner of 2020 NFL season, our own Christopher Chip Settle.
Where is he?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, I think he's getting a drink at the bar.
But he's on the belt. We even put his picture on the belt so you can see.
Here he comes.
Here he comes.
Announce him, Kristen. Announce him.
Our own Christopher Chip Settle, new champion of the world. And we even had this beautiful picture.
All those last-minute picks he would make right before the game started ended up paying off for him.
Yeah, he would wait to see what we would pick. So
I
we
would
kinda
pick
cheated.
on Tuesday.
It's Pickgate. It's called Pick'em Gate.
I couldn't do that this year because we did them all. We were automated. So
Yes, it was much
Here,
better to
let's,
do that this way. But
thank you,
congratulations,
sir.
Chip.
Congrats,
Thank
Chip.
you.
That'll be
Thank
coming
you.
back home
Deserve
with
it.
me about a year from now. So,
oh, thank you.
you know. But you guys, we are here because it is Super Bowl. What Super Bowl is it?
55.
55.
55. Wow.
And I am wearing. I brought out the old Joe Jurevicius jersey because
Very nice.
the last time the Bucs won the Super Bowl, Joe Jurevicius did have a touchdown.
So it's for luck.
Sure.
Ish.
Ish. I did bet on the bets, the Bucs, my +3 and the
Okay.
over. So
+3, huh?
+3 in the over.
You didn't get 3.5, huh?
No, when I made the bet, it was 3 this morning when I checked. So guys, I'm gonna start with you.
All right.
All right, Taylor.
All right, Taylor. What are the keys for the Chiefs to win this game? Because we saw them play Tampa Bay a few months ago.
Week
and
12.
Yep.
It was week 12, and Tyreek Hill lit them up in the first quarter.
First quarter, 200 yards in the first quarter. I really thought that the Chiefs were playing with the Bucs. They were just kind of playing with them that first quarter,
Toying with them a little bit.
with them,
Yeah,
and
I gotcha.
then they took their foot off the gas. Really, the key I see to the game from that specific game is you're not going to fool Tom Brady. Obviously, we all know that you're not going to show him a defense that he hasn't seen before. What the key to what in that game was can the running backs, Jones and your boy
Leonard
Lenny.
Fournette.
Yep, Fournette, pick up those blitzers, because the way they like to play those defenses is that they have 7 people roaming around, and then during that game they weren't able to find those free rushers coming through the line, and that's when they were able to, obviously bring that pressure on Brady. Was throwing the picks, or on a third down he would throw it away. So that was really the key to that game, I thought, or the little niche in the game was the way that the Bucs running backs were not picking up those blitzers and picking up those extra free runners. So I would see the more of the same here, because I don't.
You think Bruce Arians has made that adjustment since watching the film?
You would think, but it really
I would
doesn't have to
think.
do with Bruce Arians. It has to deal more with the running backs and their football IQ. And if they haven't learned by now, I don't, they're both veteran running backs. So you would think that they would be able to, pick up blitzers.
The running game throughout the whole season has really improved from week to week. They had 0 running game in the first quarter of the season. And then, Leonard Fournette, it's just been, they really have gotten better. Now he's the playoff Lenny, apparently.
And then obviously we could go over stats with Mahomes and how, he's won more playoff games in the last 3 years than the Chiefs had in the 50 years before that. So we could talk about that. I mean, the Chiefs are only 3-3 without Eric Fisher. So Eric Fisher's out of the lineup.
That's a huge part today.
Huge parts to today. But I really think that if Mahomes overcomes their whole offensive line, basically playing with backups, if they're able to win this game, it just goes to more of his lore and more of his reasoning of people already calling him the GOAT. So,
yeah.
Chip,
your keys. I want you to get your keys to Tampa Bay winning this game.
I think Tampa Bay, and we know this, the offensive line for the Chiefs, obviously, they've had to do some shuffling, some moving around, and they're going to have to be able to control the pass rush. So if the Buccaneers can be in the backfield all day, get Mahomes off his spots and kind of move him around, the key is, though, when Mahomes is out of the pocket, he's one of the most dangerous quarterbacks in the NFL, and we know this. So you're going to have either like a spy or a shadow like Devin White, Levante David, somebody keeping an eye on him in the backfield while he's moving around. So if the Bucs can get a good rush, which we did see last time in Week 12 with just 4 guys, I think they can get back there and cause some issues and hopefully cause some turnovers.
A lot of the names I'm hearing this week, Vita Vea and JPP. JPP is back with all 7 fingers, ready in a Super Bowl, ready to get to Patrick Mahomes, I think.
And that's what they always say. The way to beat Mahomes is to rush 4, play cover 2 on the back end, and kind of hope and pray. But the problem is that Todd Bowles is a blitzing defensive coordinator, and Mahomes just kills the blitz. So, I mean, he really just kills everyone on anything. But
the new Aaron Rodgers, where every play breaks down, and he's still, just slinging it and tossing it and whatever he's doing. And
that's true.
Now, what do you think Carlton Davis is preparing for this game? Because he is the one who got torched by Tyreek Hill that last game.
I think Davis is going to be better. I know that the defense as a whole, they kind of left Davis on his island. They had man coverage with Tyreek Hill, and as you've seen throughout this year, no one can really cover him man. So they were asking a lot of him that first game. We're going to have all our safeties supposedly trending towards having them. So they're going to run cover 2, and they'll umbrella coverage. They'll have a safety over the top with Davis, probably on Hill. So I think it'll do better this game, but confidence is a big thing for NFL players, and it definitely chipped Davis' confidence last time in Week 12.
Yeah, and that was one of the things they were talking about too, Bucks wise, was that they were saying, "Oh yeah, well we're not going to double Kelsey, we're not going to double Tyreek." Well, you have to double up. Unfortunately, to beat the Chiefs,
you double them,
you
and you leave Sammy Watkins open, you leave McCole Hardman open, you leave Denard Robinson open, and that's the problem.
Well, Robinson's out.
Oh, is he out for sure?
With he had COVID.
No, he was on the protocol. I don't know if he's in or not, but he was near the barber.
Watkins is questionable as well. We'll see what he does.
Well, that's the thing. So we have all these weapons on the Chiefs. Yep. Now we have Gronk, you have Brate, you have obviously the 2 receivers, Evans and Godwin on the Bucs. Who has the better offensive weapons?
I think speed is probably, this is what the Chiefs built their team around, is just speed. So I think they have the faster, kind of more athletic, and the Bucs have kind of like the all basketball team wide receivers. So they got the bigger guys, slower, 6'4", 6'5". So I think each offense does something different. I think the Bucs have obviously more options than the Chiefs. The 2 people with the Chiefs, you're getting, Hill, and then you're getting their lovely tight end.
Well, that was the one thing. The other thing is when you line up these 2 rosters and you line up the 44 starters that are starting this game, 35 of them are going to be Bucs.
Yeah.
You got Mahomes, Kelsey, Tyreek, and maybe like a Chris Jones and a Tyrann Mathieu, and and maybe a couple other people, and that's about it. Everyone else is going to be on the Bucs.
There's a Watkins and there's a Pringle in there somewhere.
There's a Watkins and a Pringle.
Pringle is a local
There's
guy
Gabby.
too. I think Pringle is a Lakewood Ranch high school kid.
He was.
Yeah, so he's a very local guy here. But we've been all week long, we've been talking about Mahomes, Brady, new GOAT, old GOAT, blah, blah, blah. Like Shaq Barrett. We haven't even mentioned Shaq Barrett. This guy's got more sacks than anyone in the last 2 years, including the postseason with 30 sacks. What do you expect from Shaq Barrett today other than an awesome outfit at the press conference?
With Fisher out, that's one of the things. That's Mahomes' backside. So, that's the one thing you're going to be looking at when you're watching this game. You're going to be watching that line. We're going to see how they're getting around the edge there. And then on the other side, I'm looking at Tyrann Mathieu as well. So I brought him up just a minute ago. He baited Baker into that pivotal pick to beat you guys in the playoff game. He acted like he was dropping to the safety. He saw what Baker was doing, rolling out, cut underneath. And that's kind of the place that Tyrann's a very mental,
He's
smart,
an intelligent football player on the field, and he definitely knows. I think that you can bait Brady into making some of those. We saw a little bit of that in Green Bay, but I think he's going to be the one guy in the defensive backfield. He's going to know where he is every play when they come out of that huddle. So he's definitely going to be a game changer for Kansas City, and he can make a play. If I was Brady, I would stay away from his area.
Now, actually, the last time a Super Bowl was in Tampa in 2009, it was the Steelers versus the Cardinals, and Santonio Holmes won MVP, a wide receiver. And normally
toe drag swag catch.
Yeah, from the Ohio State University.
Yes,
still got one in there.
Larry Fitzgerald,
always with the Ohio State.
Hey, I got to get one in there. That one plug. But so, do you see someone other than a quarterback being the MVP today? Could it be Travis Kelce? Could it be Tyreek Hill? Could it be a defensive guy in the box?
I could see a defensive player making a play. Like I could see a pick six.
Packers fans always be salty. Packers fans always be salty.
And she's got an MVP. She's got an MVP
always
quarterback.
Be salty.
I could see a pick six or something like that making the outcome, and obviously getting an MVP. I could see maybe someone like a Shaq Barrett or a JPP getting a few sacks or a sack fumble that be able to fumble in the end zone that be able to change things. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, it's my birthday.
Oh yeah, happy
Thank
birthday,
you.
Taylor, by
Thanks.
the way.
Yes.
And Carl,
And
Carl
Carl.
Rafferty. They're both like 102 today.
Taylor
so
was
it's really
doing
nice
a
you're
little
still with us.
shimmy, a little shake on Friday night.
Yeah.
Yes, we saw that.
Weird.
Shoulder
Maybe
shift.
we'll put it on the
It
Sports
was good.
Caffeine page.
Carl's sneaking in there.
Carl sneaking in.
Yeah, Carl's 102 today. We're glad he's still alive and with us. Oldest man I've ever met. So QCM else?
Another MVP. Yeah, I think Gronk, and we talked about it a little bit, had a great game the first time in Week 12, had over 100 yards. He's been used more of an inline blocker, and that was one of the games he's had that really kind of showed he can still, move down the field and, be an offensive player. So I look for him to have a good game again. But, yeah, I think we could see another MVP besides quarterbacks.
I'd say the last time these two quarterbacks met in Week 12, they threw for over a combined 800-something yards. Are we going to see that again today?
Yes, I think we see. The old Tater will be chucked around the yard today.
Last time they played in the playoffs, Brady came through.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So it'll be a high-scoring game, and all those guys are going to have the ability to make plays. And I don't know if you guys agree, but I think it'll come down to an impact play in the fourth quarter, and it'll probably be an offensive score. I don't think it'll be a turnover. It'll be a score.
It's the one thing we've been talking about all year. It comes down, especially in the playoffs, it comes down to the fourth quarter. Your quarterback's got to make a throw, and that's the one reason I always used to harp on Flaker was the fact that I didn't think he could make a throw. What's up, Evan?
I have a question for you guys. Now, who is going to win in the battle of the offensive lines? Whose offensive line is going to be the most effective protecting their quarterback this game? Is it going to be the Bucs, or is it going to be the Chiefs, whose offensive line is a little bit banged up? They've had to move some players over, but the Bucs, they're fully healthy. Who is going to win in that battle?
That's unanimous, right? I think we're all going Bucs, right?
Yeah, because the Chiefs are going to get decimated by the Bucs defensive line is the problem. It's not that the Chiefs defensive line sucks, the Bucs or offensive line sucks. It's the Chiefs defensive or Tampa's defensive line is really good.
And
their whole front seven is really, really good.
And that's why when I was harping just a minute ago, I don't think it's going to be more so the offensive line of the Bucs. I think it's going to be the running backs. That's really going to have to pick up those free runners. So that's really what I'm going to be looking for when I look at those matchups is who, if they're picking up the right person, if they're getting a right chip on them. I saw a couple whiffs that Fournette made last week. So
the blocking, like you said, running backs will be key. Also, I think that the position players the Chiefs have in line today are going to be guys that normally don't play those positions, but they're all veterans. They're pros. They're going to offset the pass rush with little, 5 to 7 yard passes. You'll see some jet sweeps today. I think McCole Hardman, Hill too. So they'll do some things to offset that. But yeah, I think the Bucs line will be the one that's stronger.
We've got a question from the chat. How concerned are you with the Bucs secondary this game? Because they gave up a lot of yards the first game. How concerned are you?
Very.
Okay.
Okay, next question.
high to extremely high. Especially it depends on those safeties too.
Well, if you leave Hill open, he's gonna torch you. But if you cover Hill, Kelsey's gonna grab everything anywhere in the stadium. He'll be in the stands and he's like doing like these, home run catches. His hands are glue. But I think they learned from their mistakes. I think there's a fact that no AFC team has beaten an NFC team twice in one season.
There you go.
When they do play. So yeah,
I think everybody's worried, but also the injury report, obviously, when the game comes up, and I think we'll get it at 5:00 right at the top of the hour. We'll know who's playing and who's not. But safeties will be huge, and if we have a full cupboard of those guys, then I'll feel better about them.
But all these coaches, between the two head coaches and the defensive coordinators, the offensive coordinators, they're all so good at adjusting and these trick plays. And I'm sure Andy Reid just been drawing things up all season long.
Yeah, they get the 2 weeks to plan and prepare for the losses of Fisher.
And Andy Reid is one of those Bill
dealing with
Belichick.
Tyreek.
Coming off a bye, Andy Reid is fantastic coming off a bye, if you want to call it a bye or whatever. No, we talked a lot about the Bucs running game. Let's talk about the Chiefs running game. I saw the over-under for a prop bet on Hilaire was 29.5 yards, which is very low.
Yeah, the Bucs defense obviously was rated. I think they are number 1 at the end of the year. Yeah, so I think they're only the last time they played in Week 12, it was under 90 yards. I think they gave up maybe 85. So yeah, I don't think they have a big game there. I think we'll contain them hopefully. But Edwards-Hilaire, great out of the backfield catching passes, and I think you could see that today as well.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs were playing a little bit more Le'Veon throughout the playoffs, just for that blitz pickup that we were talking about. A little bit more, a little bit more veteran
presence back there.
Yes, be able to. Obviously, Hilaire's the better runner. He might even be the better catcher, I think, out of the backfield as opposed to Le'Veon these days. But I think Le'Veon picking up those blitzes, be able to communicate a little bit better with the offensive line. I think that's why he was getting a little bit more of the touches. So it should be interesting how they do that. They even had Damian Williams get some run last game. So we'll see.
Now, my big question, guys, this is the question of the week, man. Should they fire off the I know they're not firing off the cannons at all, but should they have fired off the cannons for both teams?
No.
Hell no.
That was literally like the biggest question. Are we going to fire off the cannons?
I saw a lot of Bucs fans complaining about this, but then I think about like the Vikings, for example. If the Vikings played a Super Bowl in their home stadium, they played that annoying Viking horn every time they got to bring it up. Oh my God. I would go absolutely nuts if they did that. So I think it's fine. I mean, calm down, Bucs fans.
Yeah, you'll get the cannons if we win at the end, and they'll be able to do that. So I'm okay with that. But
you guys want to do some player prop bets?
Yeah.
Let's
go ahead. What do we got?
Okay. Over under Tom Brady over 295.5 passing yards.
Ooh.
Over.
I think it's going to be over.
I'll go over as well.
Okay. Leonard Fournette, first running back to reach 10+ yards.
I think no.
No.
Yeah, no. I think Rojo.
Does it have to be a running back or just first rusher?
Well, it was just for this category.
Or for a rusher, but can Mahomes run 10 yards? And does it have to be a running
It
back?
depends who gets the ball first.
That's true,
We also got heads or tails.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like those kind of bets like that.
You
I like
like
the bet
national
like
anthem?
Bucks win and Fournette scores. And that was like a 1,300 or some bet.
All right, Tyreek Hill over under 150 yards receiving.
Ooh.
I think that's under.
I'm going to go under as well.
I'm going to go under too. I think they're going to focus a lot on Tyreek Hill. But a lot of the other guys are going to fill in that gap there.
Okay.
He'll get around 90, 100.
We'll go on the other side. Mike Evans over under 150 yards receiving.
Under.
I'm going to take the over on that one. I think Tom Brady loves him.
I think close. I think like one, maybe I'll say under. I think like 140.
I think he's going to spread it around. I think they're also going to pay a lot of attention to Mike Evans. Godwin's kind of picking up the pace a little bit. Scotty Miller's obviously getting some run. You talk about Gronk getting some more play.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm maybe one of many people. I think this might happen. This might be Gronk's best game. He's been quiet all season long. He's been more of a passing tight end. Over under Rob Gronkowski 1 touchdown.
Even.
I think even. Yeah, I'd probably say that.
I'll go with the over if I'm going to bet.
You could say over, but I think he's going to have. I think he's going to be the guy that makes the play in the final couple of minutes. Tom Brady and him already have chemistry. They played together
all year.
Yeah, they've been waiting all year for
that commercial was great. You see that commercial? That's great.
So
that T-Mobile
I think he's the one that Tom Brady goes to in the clutch tonight. That will actually be the game-changing score.
Okay, this is a non-player one. It's coming up pretty soon, within the next 40 minutes or so. Over under the national anthem. Over 2 minutes.
Over under 2 minutes.
I'm
singing.
I'm going over.
It's a
There's
duet.
it's a duet.
Jasmine
It's a
Sullivan
country
and Eric
singer
Church.
and Jasmine Summer. Yeah.
So it's a duet. So I think
It's a country duet.
It'll take longer. 2 minutes. Over.
Yeah, she's gonna hold that note for a minute. Yeah.
We're gonna both try and outdo each other. Holding that note.
Hold the ear thing. thing.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay.
Over 2 minutes.
Yes.
Okay, that's it for prop bets.
All right.
Will The Weeknd sing the song that is about a white powdery substance?
He said he was keeping it PG.
He was.
PG.
PG. All
He
right.
invested a lot of money.
Yeah, he spent $7 million of his own dollars on special effects.
That is way too
It's
much money for a
Plus
Super Bowl
the $10
halftime
million
show.
that the NFL gave him.
Oh, okay.
Plus
Wow.
the $10 million.
Plus the
Yeah, he
10
was like, this is not enough money. I need more special effects. And I heard it was not going to be on the field. It was going to be somewhere in the stands, possibly. Maybe on the pirate ship.
It might be on the pirate ship. Let's
about
go.
that?
Let's go to that halftime show.
Yeah.
Real quick. Will there be an F-bomb dropped? Yes or no?
No.
Accidentally.
No.
No. Okay.
I don't think so.
It's live TV. Anything can happen.
No.
And I know you're wearing your weekend hair today.
He
a
is
little bit.
singing for real as well. He's not lip syncing.
Well, I guess we'll see. I don't think. No, I don't think that'll happen.
I'm just happy we brought
He is
back
from Toronto.
fun halftime shows as opposed to when after the nip slip they started doing, Paul McCartney and like Billy Joel.
Safe stuff.
Yeah,
Safe
so
stuff.
I'm glad that we're having because the weekend is just awesome.
Should we get score predictions from some of the Chiefs fans? We got.
Oh,
Sure, let's
I see some
walk
Chiefs
around.
fans over
Sure,
here. I
let's,
see some Bucks fans.
I need some
Score
Bucks
predictions.
Fans, some Bucks fans.
Jeff
up
McKee,
here.
what do you think about the score of the game?
Score of the game. What do we got?
I need some Bucks fans and some Chiefs fans up here to predict some
Chiefs
scores.
by 10. That is Jeff McKee.
What
By
was the
10.
score prediction?
Chiefs by 10.
No,
So it could be 60 to 50.
I'm going to do a man on the street.
All I care about is
Go
if
ahead.
it hits my
Let's do
squares.
some man on the street.
Be the guy on the
The
street.
over-under is 56, which I think is very low for this game.
That is good.
Let's
You
ask-
can get some
ask some
questions or get
fans.
some scores over there.
I need some score predictions right now.
There's Poe over there. Why don't you go ask Poe?
What do you think the score is going to be for the game?
Caught me off guard.
That's too bad.
I'm going to go 38-34 Chiefs.
Oh, sorry. No, I don't think that's going to work. That's not going to work at all.
I'll take it.
We got a score prediction over here. Hold on a second. Here we go. If you're a Chiefs fan, I'm not going to talk to you. All right, here we go. What's your prediction for the game?
Huh?
What's your prediction for the game?
30.
That's not fast enough. Sorry, I'm sorry. we got our good buddy Mike over here. Mike, what's going to be the score of the game?
I don't know.
That's not good, Mike. Come on now. A win is good.
Why
All
don't
right,
you
what
go
do we got? What do we got?
38-12. Bucks are going to.
Wow.
I'm not going to say 12 points
I
that Chiefs
like
will
that.
get, but that's bold. That's a bold statement.
Bold.
That's very bold. 31 is a
if the
good
Chiefs
score for
only
the
score
Bucks.
12 points, I'm retiring from watching.
All right, so my biggest thing is that we live in the Tampa Bay area. You know, I do like the Bucks. I'm not a huge Tom Brady fan. He's probably a great guy. Did nothing wrong to me. I just don't like the guy. I cannot stand these Pats fans that are all buying this Bucks stuff, and now they're
Are you
Bucks
talking about
fans.
one in general named Craig Cousin?
One Craig Cousin, who used to be on our show
the
with us.
doctor.
Dr. Cousin, talking to you if you're watching with the half Tom Brady Bucks patch shirt. And I work in a company that a lot of people are from Maine and New England area, and they're all buying Buck shirts. You know, I'm not a Lakers fan because LeBron plays for the Lakers. I wish LeBron well, but I do see a few people in their Michigan gear over here, and I respect that because Tom Brady is a Michigan man, so they're allowed to root for their college quarterback.
There we go.
There
We got some
some
Tampa
Bucks
chants
chants
up
starting
top.
up top.
There we
How about
go.
that?
So I wanted. Good thing that you brought up Tom Brady there, Kristen. You know, we talk about legacy. We've talked about legacy on this show before.
Yeah.
And I always say I think the legacy is intact. I think even if they do lose, I think either way, going from one organization, a new coach, new players, new everything, puts a stamp on him as the greatest of all time. Now, a lot of people say, well,
unprecedented.
a lot of people say, hey, he's got to win this one. What do you think? Is he already the greatest of all time, or is it he has to win this one to be the greatest of all time?
I mean, I think he's clear and by far the greatest of all time. It's more so how fast can Mahomes catch him is really what we're at.
Not going to catch him.
Is what we
He's in
see.
his second Super Bowl in his third year of play, so
He could catch him. I think his legacy is pretty cemented as far as what he's done. I mean, this is also a guy that changed systems, changed players, built relationships, and you know, during the season, obviously, some of us thought this was going to fall apart. A lot of Bucs fans thought it was going to fall apart, but now here they are at the finish line. Did what he needed to do. Now they just got to win one more game.
And really, his best team he ever had, they lost the Super Bowl. They had
That's
Randy
true.
Moss. His best skill player on his team
Yep.
was Randy Moss. They lose the Super Bowl, so he's never really had the skill players.
And honestly, he's come to Tampa, and the actual true Tampa fans have embraced him. And I mean, how many funny stories? I don't know if you saw Sports Center did a thing.
Anything's better than Davis.
So Sports Center did a thing where they had Mayor Kathy Castor of Tampa Bay talking about Tom Brady. Thanks for coming here to town. You went door to door welcoming people where he walked into the wrong house.
Yes.
Or like, and I love that you love our Parks and Recs department. And then they had the lady saying how should have kicked him out of the park for like the park was closed for COVID. And so Tampa really has embraced him, and I think he really loves it here.
Well, when you've been losing for a very long time and you've been having to deal with a quarterback
but
that
it's
throws a
like-
lot of picks, Tom Brady has been such a breath of fresh air. So
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
Evan, we didn't get your perspective. You are our Bucks fan
I
on
know.
this
That's-
show.
I should kick Taylor off.
Yeah,
Here you go.
yeah.
Let's
Taylor,
switch.
nobody wants to see your ugly mug anymore.
Let me get up on you.
So I want you to know. I want to know your keys to Tampa winning this game. Your final score predictions. Lay it out on here for me.
You know, I think the keys right here is the offensive line.
Yeah.
And if the Bucks can hold that line and let Tom Brady do his thing, it's going to be good. I mean,
They're warming up on the field.
He's got so many weapons to choose from. He's got Mike Evans. He's got Chris Godwin. He's got Grunk. He's got Brate. He's got Tyler Johnson. He's got Scotty Scooter Miller. And then you've got the two-headed monster in Rojo and also playoff Lenny Fournette.
Yeah.
So the offensive line has got a hold. And I think the other thing, too, is also the secondary. We're all still kind of nervous.
All
and
scared a little bit.
A little bit on that, too.
A little bit
And
shell-shocked.
Yes, I'm a little nervous going into this game, but I think they've made the adjustments since week 12. We've seen it progress after the bye week. We've seen this team really, especially in the secondary, really have gone the extra mile when it comes to covering those elite wide receivers. We saw that again in the
shut down Michael Thomas, shut down Devontae Adams.
Shut down Devontae Adams. So it's definitely that's what you want to see in a Super Bowl caliber team is the improvement going week to week. And obviously it's been a roller coaster the first few weeks of the season, but now everything's locked in. We're in the Super Bowl now. Let's fire them cannons. Let's bring Lombardi back to Tampa Bay.
In my head, fire the cannons. It's not really happening.
Well, that's your opinion.
After the game, we fire them.
Yeah, you're entitled to that. So.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. I think with the two teams that deserve to be there, it's going to be a shootout. It's not going to be like 2 years ago, Pats Rams, where it was like.
What a great playoffs we've had. The best four teams were in the NFC, the NFC and AFC championship. That was the best four that we had all season long.
Well,
that's great.
And I also love the whole story of the old quarterbacks versus the young guys in the AFC and the old quarterbacks in the NFC. I mean, it was for a COVID year. This was really an awesome year.
I think we saved the best game for last. I'm excited about both these teams.
There's definitely no shortage of storylines. Obviously, they got a lot of people pulling for BA, and he's beloved throughout the league.
No biscuit, no biscuit.
I call him Pop Pop. A couple times I met him. He looks like your grandpa. A really nice guy. I met him in India a couple times. A really nice guy. I had to make him stop talking to me. I was like, sir, I'm done talking to you. Please go on your merry way.
Everyone thought that him and Brady had those issues during the season, but obviously it was more so a respect thing. Brady appreciated it. He wanted someone to speak to him that way and give him his honest feedback.
Well, Brady kind of struggled a little bit in the beginning of the year, as it probably due to COVID and not being with the team.
Yeah, no OTAs with your team. You got to get gelled with these guys on and off the field too, as well.
But I mean, I said you get into the playoffs, it doesn't matter. It's like
whole new season, whole new start. So that's good.
It's great too. I think by week 11 or 12, it was starting to click.
Yep.
By week
after the Chiefs game.
Yeah, after the Chiefs game, just everything clicked on all cylinders. And I think. Are they doing the national anthem?
No, I think this is
God Bless America.
God Bless America.
God Bless America.
Alicia Keys is doing God Bless America.
And then Miley Cyrus was also doing a pregame show.
It was terrible.
Was it?
She was doing rock classics. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
You know what? She's got a great voice. She puts on a great show, but she should probably stick to her own music.
Sounds like somebody is choking a goat.
Yeah.
Like that's how
that's
bad
no good.
And we don't choke goats
we
around
don't
here.
Like
we love goats.
Yes.
No, we don't like that. So,
all right, what are our final score predictions, guys?
I've got 31-28 Buccaneers.
I'm going 35-34 Chiefs.
31-27.
I'm going 34-26. So my numbers hit for the Chiefs.
And who's your MVP?
Mahomes is going to have as many Super Bowls as 16 other teams combined in the league. So how about that?
I would say, you guys talked about MVP a little earlier in the show. I think it's going to be a non-offensive person. I think it's going to be somebody we haven't really thought of doing the big game stuff. Maybe a Sean Murphy Bunting.
Antoine Winfield Jr.
I can see a Devin White picking off a pass.
Devin White, because Devin White's there all the time picking up fumbles and picking off, throws all the time. So it could be somebody we would
Jeff.
I would say it'd be somebody we least expect it to be. So, yeah.
Yeah. Looking forward to that.
No, I'm thinking it's going to be one of the Chiefs receivers. Either it's going to be Kelsey or it's going to be a Hill. They're going to, whoever has the more yards and more touchdowns. Travis Kelsey's a Cleveland guy, Cleveland Heights guy. Grew up right next door to me in Cleveland. So I'm going to go Travis Kelsey for MVP.
Great pick. I'm going Kelsey as well.
Okay.
There we go.
Well, we're locked in for Super Bowl 55. Has been Play the Bay live here at Rafferty's Bar and Grill. I hope everybody enjoys the game today. Stay safe. Tip your waitresses. Have a great time. Go Bucks. Fire them cannons.
Bucks!
Let's go.
Whoop, whoop.
Thanks for listening to Play the Bay. We'll be back again with another episode on the Believe Podcasting Network. If interested in advertising, please contact Believe.com.